Jay's going to help me out today. We're going to show you about grip and what that means in the context of core regions and your power angle and how all of this relates to your power at the top of the golf swing. First thing I want you to know is, though, that I plank. These are my 9 core region numbers. 3 in the upper, 3 in the middle, and 3 in the lower. These are my stance widths I plank to. So that has been done. And no matter what stance width I go to here, Jay's going to... The easiest thing for you to do to check this, use a carpenter's level. So if I put my hands up here, and yeah, just rest it on both sides there, Jay. And it'll take a moment for it to settle. That is absolutely dead center, right, Jay?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to change my width. These are not any particular widths. And now we're right back to centered again. So if I go very wide and the last one I'll go narrow, because I've planked, no matter what my stance width is, that bubble is absolutely centered on every one of these. Out of that, when I give a lesson or we have a golf school here, our students will say, well, that means I can play from any stance width. And the answer to that is no, and we're going to show you why now. Because you'll have balance, you'll have symmetry through the core, no matter what your stance width is, but there are other characteristics we want you to be aware of. So what I have now on the floor, I've taken all of my numbers off the results page for my low core, and I've put them on the first right balance tape measure here. I've taken all my mid-core numbers and put them on this middle white right balance tape, and on the front one, I have all my upper core numbers. So I want you to understand what this means in terms of your power and your power angle. So Jay's going to measure the distance, as I relax, the distance from my hip to the middle of my wrist. What do you see there, Jay?
7.5.
7.5? Okay, and you can see that angle. Now I'm going to step up to mid-core, and this is only an inch different from the last one. And there you go, thank you. You have to be relaxed, Jay's reminding me.
6.5.
6.5. So I've gone from 7.5 to 6.5. And
5.5.
5.5. So this is changing. Let's see what that means in terms of measurements and power. Okay, Jay, let's start back here. I know what these angles are, so I'm going to preset the first one for you. So I'm 151 plus in degrees. Now, if you have a digital protractor, this is measured. You notice there's a bubble in the middle here. Jay's going to center that, and I'm going to relax, and he's going to take that. And it's set. Was it 151.8? Okay. So 151.8. And if I go to the middle core now, Jay, I'm going to guess right about 155 to 156. Because that's how much, that 1 inch is going to change about 4 to 5 degrees. 155.7, okay. So about 4 degrees difference. How we doing? You have to be totally relaxed when you do this.
There we go,
Now it's centered? Okay. And now, so I've lost, what is that, 4 degrees?
4 degrees.
Okay, let's go another 4 degrees. See if we're finding 4 degrees is working here. Another 4 degrees. And by the way, as long as I'm in my core region, I can use any of these stance widths and I'll get the same number. So let's add another 4 degrees, which would be what, 149?
161.
Oh, okay, I thought you had 55. Okay. And my angle here now is, what's that one?
It's centered. Perfect. And 160.
160. So you can see how this angle changes. Now, why is this important? This is important for power, but before we show you power, let's take a look at how we look at grip. So you have the instructions in the ebook of how to take this club. You'll notice, by the way, Jay has marked my hand. Let's take a look at that first.
Good one, but
Okay.
it didn't seem like it was in focus. So I'll get it from right there is perfect.
Okay. So Jay has marked my hand with a red Sharpie. That is the pressure point here for my upper core. With a black Sharpie, that's my pressure point for my mid-core. And a blue Sharpie, that's my upper core. I mean my lower core. So as I move through the core region and this angle gets greater, my pressure point moves out. And this creates a couple of different things. So we'll look at as we go. So if I want to, I'm going to stand on one of my low core numbers now. I'm going to take the club, as you learn, the head of the club facing me. If you have a graphite shaft, it's probably not heavy enough because you want to be able to balance that club. That should be pretty close to parallel, if not spot on. That's across that blue line on my upper knuckle. So I have the same position in my left hand as I do my right. But you always want to check both sides. Let me move this way. Do a little math and find that same position here. And you can see that it is identical on both sides. So when I grip the club, the first thing you want to do is grip it at your side. You don't want to bring it up and set these numbers. You want to just let your arms hang at your side as you normally would. And then you bring it up in front, and having set that pressure point in your middle finger. Now we're going to have the right hand, same pressure point. Notice where my hands go when I use those pressure points as I'm hugging my side. See how far ahead my hands are? You'll find that's a characteristic of your lower core players. I'm also centered over the middle of my feet. Now I'm going to move now to my mid-core. And by the way, one of the things I didn't say, these angles are the same on both sides. If I do not plank, one angle is going to be greater than the other. And you're going to be hard-pressed to find a grip that sets the body in balance. So I'm going to move to my mid-core now. I'm going to leave my pressure point out where it was. See how low that shaft is? That's my lower core pressure point. If I move it to the black, and all of a sudden there we go. That's my pressure point. Once again, I'm going to grip the club the way my arms and the hands hang at my side. Totally relaxed. I'm going to find that pressure point, which is on my second knuckle. I'm going to use my thumb to push down on it so I've got the heel pad on top. The heel pad in this left hand is absolutely crucial. I bring it up, add the same pressure point in the right, and as I ground the club, I feel my balance is a little more forward, which it should be, just behind the balls of the feet and forward of the arches. But notice my hand position. See, the butt of the club is now coming back. And those pressure points are setting your hand position. They set your angles, they set your hand position, and your stance width will set your balance. Now I'm going to move now to the next position here. And I'm going to stand tall and relax. Once again, I know that pressure point for my upper core is very close to the palm here. So I'm pushing with my thumb to seat it in that pressure point with that heel pad on top. I bring it up, I add that same position, and all I'm going to do is ground the club. Notice where the butt of that club goes now. See, it's now on my midline. The pressure points will create these hand positions. The other thing the pressure points do is they'll free you up and give you maximum range of motion. This is what you've seen. My hips are going to be square when I have these pressure points set. Right now, my weight's on the balls of my feet, which is where I'm going to be as an upper core player. Now, Jay's going to help me now show you how the power angle is set at the top of your backswing. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Be ready? Okay. So a way to check this is you set when you check your power angle, you don't want to throw your arms out. You want elbows to your side and then just rotate your palms forward. So Jay's going to show you once again how do we do that. Is that it?
Perfect.
Okay, he has that. What is the number on that?
151.7.
151.8. This feels like it right here at the top. Would you measure that from the top down? There you go. And just listen. So for power at the top of my golf swing, this is where I want to be. So how am I going to set that? Well, the first thing I have a grip trainer here. I'm going to set the pressure point for I'm on my low core numbers. I'm setting the pressure point in my low core. I'm going to grip the club the way it hangs at my side. I've set my pressure point in my left. Now I'm setting it in my right. Notice how far ahead my hands get. And all I'm going to do is turn to the top, and let's see if I was able to set that. How'd we do, Jay? So that is my angle. That's where I'm going to have power. All I'm going to do now is set a different pressure point. So I'm going to set my mid-core pressure point, which is that black line. I'm going to still grip it the way it hangs at my side. Mid-core pressure point. Get set, take that to the top, and I can tell I don't have any power here. You can see the difference in the angles. So the pressure points are creating, and your power angle are creating an awful lot in your golf swing. I'm going to leave that same pressure point, move to my mid-core now. Our mid-core number was, let's double check that. It was
155, 156.
Yeah, we're going to go the arm down. There you go. And you want to be relaxed when you're checking this. That it? Okay. 155.5? Okay. So now I'm going to let my arms and hands hang naturally at my side. I push it into that pressure point, that second knuckle up. I add that same pressure point when I grip here. I take it to the top, and let's see how I did, Jay. Is that my power angle? Yeah, so your angles are going to change here.
Sorry, God.
That's okay. That's it. So the first one, I'm out here. Now I've come in a little bit, and now I'm going to set my upper core, which was 160. Okay, well, let's see what we do with 160. I'm going to set the pressure point here for my upper core, which is down close to my palm. We talk about grip size. This is why if we change grip size, we're not going to be able to find this point. I'm struggling with this trainer grip to get it in there. Okay, there is my upper core. Pressure points are set at address. Take it to the top, and that's a much more severe angle. I can feel it, but it feels pretty darn powerful. Okay, so I've set it. Now, why is this the case? Why does the way my hands change? I want you to notice as you watch me here, see where my hands are when they hang at my side. Look at my thumb and index finger here. Notice how they feel like they're out. Okay, that's and if I go to any of my low core numbers, that's how they're going to hang. No matter how wide or how narrow, they're going to hang the same. And they're going to be identical. If you have it planked, one hand's going to turn in more than the other. So if I go to my mid-core now, what you'll start to see is my hands begin to turn in a little bit. We're all different. This is not necessarily going to be you, but you will see and feel this if you look in the mirror. See, I'm turned in a little bit more. And if I go to my upper core, my hands turn in still even more. Now I feel like the back of my palms are facing toward that camera. But you can see the changes. So as we move through core regions, we see a change in power angle, we see a change in your power at the top, and we're all different. Everyone's stance width is different, everyone's core region is different, everyone's power angle is different, everything. We are so individual as we put all this together. This is what we do in our golf schools, this is what our fitters do around the world. They will find your power for you, they'll help you in your stance width, they'll get you set. And there are many, many different ways to measure. This is just an illustration of a number of the things you'll be going through. Jay, anything we want to add?